budget and then have a meeting in search of common ground.
My budget reflects what we can do to lift the burden on hardworking Americans. And there's more than one way to do that.
The president's priorities include lowering costs for childcare, health care, and college.
How much do things cost? It's not just whether inflation. We brought down inflation 7 months in a row. We're going to whip it.
He's proposing trillions in tax hikes to help pay for his plan, pledging again it won't impact anyone earning under $400,000 a year. But Republicans say it's a reckless blueprint that will be dead on arrival in the GOP-controlled House. Wall Street goes back to worrying about inflation and the Fed's next move on rate hikes. The Dow down 542 points at the closing bell, down more than 1,000 the past 3 days. A railroad executive tells lawmakers he is deeply sorry for the impact of a toxic train derailment in Ohio.
I am determined to make this right.
Norfolk Southern CEO Alan Shaw pledging an urgent and thorough cleanup and saying his company will help lead industry-wide safety improvements. The railroad still faces multiple lawsuits over the crash in East Palestine, Ohio, which remains under investigation. Shaw and the NTSB chair are now scheduled to appear at another Senate hearing later this month. Norfolk Southern had another derailment this morning in Calhoun County, Alabama.
Though these incidents are receiving a lot of coverage right now, which makes sense, and I'm sure they have a lot of questions, it's totally reasonable for them to have that question. Safety remains number one priority, and we'll make sure that we learn from all these things.
Spokesman Connor Spielmaker says more than 30 cars derailed today, but none were carrying hazardous materials. The Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell remains hospitalized after falling at a D.C. hotel last night. A spokesman says he's being treated for a concussion, expected to stay in the hospital for a few days. America is listening to Fox News.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I'm asking about Prevnar 20 because there's a chance pneumococcal pneumonia could put me in the hospital.
Age 65 or older, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I want to be able to keep my plans.
So I'm asking my doctor about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
The cartel suspected in the deadly kidnapping of Americans in Mexico appears to be condemning the violence.
A letter obtained by the Associated Press through a Mexican state law enforcement source claims to be from the Scorpions fraction of the Gulf Cartel, apologizing to residents of Matamoros, where 4 Americans were abducted, with 2 killed, alleging it turned over its own members it says were directly involved and responsible.
Fox's Kristen Goodwin. The letter claims those members acted on their own, violating the cartel's rules of respecting the life of the innocent. Mexico has confirmed at least 1 suspect in custody as that investigation continues, while some U.S. lawmakers call for a cartel crackdown. Mexico's president blaming social decay for the fentanyl problem in the U.S., telling a visiting Homeland Security official today that Mexico does not produce or consume the drug, despite other officials pledging cooperation in the fight against fentanyl flowing over the border into the U.S. A partisan clash during a House Judiciary Committee hearing.
The hearing, billed as looking into the weaponization of the federal government via Twitter, drew a fiery opening from Chairman and Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan that accused the social media site of bias and working with the FBI
to take down accounts and limit visibility of tweets.
Ranking Democrat and Congresswoman from the Virgin Islands, Stacey Plaskett, was critical of the day's witnesses, whom she characterized as
2 of Elon Musk's public scribes
that she said would push the Twitter CEOs and Republicans' political narrative of censoring tweets on former President Trump's ban from the site and on Hunter Biden's laptop, among other issues. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Recapping the sell-off on Wall Street, the Dow drops 543 points. The S&P also sliding more than 1%. The NASDAQ tumbling more than 2%. And Lisa Brady, Fox News.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for Eastern Illinois, Champaign-Urbana, Vicinity. Next late season storm system gathering strength and through the plains. It'll be heading our way with rain this afternoon. This system certainly much weaker from the one of late last week, but there are winter weather advisories as close in as Chicago back west towards the Quad Cities for a few inches of snow and some ice too. Here it's just rain this afternoon at 46 and a gusty east wind. Couple of rounds of rain early on tonight. Breezy low down to 36. Tomorrow, a couple of sprinkles early and late. Much of the day dry, variably cloudy, breezy, high up near 41, down to 25. A bit of a colder air mass moves in here for tomorrow night, and a chilly Saturday, partly sunny 42. A little bit of a rain-snow mix in here on Sunday with a high temperature up near 38. Sprinkles in the afternoon Monday at 38 as well. We'll be in the upper 30s on Tuesday, moderate back in the 40s for Wednesday and Thursday, and signs of another wet system in here for late next week. Maybe a little snow to precede on Thursday. High temperature up around 45 degrees. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
Ignition sequence start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff.
Check. I literally just create madness.
Well, they're up.
I'm going to go off here.
They don't have a great quarterback.
I got to take a break. I'm getting in trouble.
To win the Big Ten, you first got to win the West.
Bad Bunny. Have you heard his name in a while?
No.
Has it bothered you?
No. Defensively, they got to come in with some confidence.
Is that even analytics?
I'm in a parking garage, kind of lost.
Terrence Shannon, Matthew Meyer, RJ Melendez, Coleman Hawkins.
These trophy presentations aren't over.
I didn't come here to go 5-7.
I'm so proud of Illinois football right now. I'm so tired of Joel Embiid.
We're not taking Patrick Corbin.
I want to bet the Bears.
Oh.
You are Reba McEntire's niece.
Roshan Russell.
Coach Bielema.
You no longer yeah, salute to yourself.
What? We got all kinds of things for you here.
There's a lot of glass.
Oh.
Guys, we have breaking news.
Uh-oh.
It's The Drive.
Schmack Dogs.
Thunderstruck! Yeah, Thunderstruck!
And good morning. It is The Drive, ESPN Radio 93.5. The Drive would say in Piper. Derek Piper is in Chicago at the United Center. Will join me in about 10 or so minutes to get us ready for Illinois and Penn State tonight in the Big Ten tournament. 3 games already completed in the Big Ten tournament. 2 last night, 1 earlier today that came out my way when it came to our Big Ten draft. Another one underway right now, and it's a good one between Ohio State and Iowa. We'll update all of that as we go along. Kyle Tosk is heading to the Big Ten tournament tomorrow, and with the weather moving into Chicago, he just thought it best to get the heck out of here. So he is on his way home now, and it was a good idea on his part. And hopefully Illinois gets the victory tonight so that Kyle, who will be at the United Center tomorrow, is able to watch the Illini in person. Of course, he's been to many games this season here at State Farm Center. So it'll be cool, though, to kind of catch your first Big Ten tournament. The Big Ten tournament is really fun. I was telling Kyle today when we were texting, I'm like, there's just something about, like, you know, out of college, I covered SIU and covered the Mo Valley tournament down in St. Louis. And I'm not going to lie, I mean, that's one heck of a tournament. And what makes that tournament a little bit probably more intense, I would say, than the Big Ten is that the winner goes on, right? I mean, in the Big Ten, 7 or 8 of these teams are moving on to the NCAA tournament. For the most part, in St. Louis, the Missouri Valley, there's only one team moving on. So every game is so intense, and every game is literally your last game of the season if you don't win. So that was always kind of fun to cover that. I was very fortunate after I graduated in 92 that SIU won in 93, 94, 95, still the only three-time repeat champions at the Missouri Valley Tourney in St. Louis. So that was really cool to cover that. And then when I came to WA&D in Decatur, I was able to cover some of the Illini in the Big Ten in Chicago for the most part. And, of course, the biggest memory there, the best memory, was when Illinois was the worst seed. And we all know the story. They made it all the way to Sunday and played in the championship game against Michigan State, just ran out of gas. By the way, that was a really good Michigan State team. But wins over Minnesota, Indiana, Ohio State, and just kind of an improbable run for that Illinois team that had freshmen of Lucas Johnson, Corey Bradford, and others. Robert, of course, Archibald, Demir Krupalya, and that crew. So that was always fun, and covering these is something that there's just a different feel. There's a different feel to it, and I know as listeners out there that have been to either, whether it be in Indianapolis or Chicago, you get that feeling, right? You walk in, and even though the stadium is not completely sold out like you're used to doing maybe when you go to State Farm Center, it's just kind of cool to look around and you see T-shirts, you see sweatshirts from other, every other team, essentially, probably not Minnesota. I'm kidding. In the Big Ten, and by the way, Minnesota won last night, so I shouldn't be dogging them. They beat Nebraska, and of course in the first game, oh man, it's slipping my mind now, but I'll get it here in a second. But the feel of just knowing there's all those different fan bases, and it's kind of a cool thing, right? And there's kind of that camaraderie between your fan base, right? So you might run into 100 Illinois fans at State Farm Center, and it's not that you're not nice to them or excited to see them, but you're just kind of like, hey, what's up? Yeah. And then you go to a setting like the NCAA tournament or the NCAA tournament, I'm sorry, NC or Big Ten, and you see another Illinois fan, and it's like, hey, that's my partner in crime, right? I mean, so it's just a little bit more of a cool feeling. I know we had that down in Tampa for the football bowl game when you run into Illinois fans walking on the sidewalk. You're like, hey, ILL, and it's just kind of a cool feeling, and I know that's the same with everybody. So we'll get that feel from Derek Piper here in a little bit at the United Center as Illinois tips it off with Penn State, 5:30. We all know that storyline. Penn State has taken it to Illinois twice this season. So can they do the third win in 3 tries? That's never easy. I don't know if that's a folklore. I don't know. But certainly you got more chances, obviously, to beat a team with 3, and hopefully you turn the tide. So Illinois, the 7, Penn State, the 10 seed, and they'll get it on at 5:30 tonight. So we'll talk to Derek Piper and get his thoughts on how that game is going to go and how he feels it will work. Later this hour, we'll hear from Terrence Shannon Jr. and Coleman Hawkins. Just a snippet of each as they met with the media getting ready for this tournament today. In the Big Ten, as mentioned last night, the way it worked was, as mentioned, Nebraska loses. They are upset by Minnesota in the late game last night. That final of that game was 78-75. Minnesota got it done. They were up at half against Nebraska and then held on late in that game. And then, of course, in the first game, this is what I couldn't think of, Ohio State defeated Wisconsin. So Wisconsin pretty much done for the season. Unless Ohio State, I think, wins this tournament, they'll be done for the season. And then, of course, today then you turn around and you had an Ohio State team that will advance, of course, to play the winner of the first game, which would be Rutgers and Michigan. And that game, as I'm trying here to get there. It's my fault. I'm not one of those tech guys that can run one thing and try to talk on the other, so it just kind of takes me a while to get this stuff done. And nothing is cooperating with me right now. I can tell you, though, in the Iowa-Ohio State game now, that's what I meant to say, Iowa with a 57-55 lead on the Ohio State Buckeyes, and there's about 6:54 to play in that one. The first game of the day, Rutgers defeats Michigan. So a lot of people kind of feeling Michigan going into this tournament, but they are knocked out and presumably done in terms of NCAA. There's no way. I don't think they're making that. So Michigan's season is done unless they go to the NIT. Rutgers advances, and, of course, they'll keep playing, see what they can get accomplished at the Big Ten tournament. And, again, this game going on right now on the Big Ten Network between Iowa and Ohio State is just – I don't want to say back and forth because Iowa has maintained pretty much the lead for about the last probably 8 to 10 minutes of the second half. But every time they get a little bit of a lead, Ohio State answers. So this is an Ohio State team that really, I think you can thank Illinois for this. When they came out against Illinois, they played especially well, and they've played well since for the most part. And, of course, this Iowa team, a dangerous 5 seed in this tournament. So that game is going to be fun to watch. Again, about 6 to play in that one. Iowa leading by 2. Illinois will not host, although essentially in Chicago you are. will play Penn State at 5:30. That also on the Big Ten Network. And then the final tonight, Minnesota and Maryland. That game will tip after the Illinois game. On the high school scene, it was not great news for the Tuscola Warriors as they fell today 40-27 to Scales Mound. That's that tiny school that has like 70 kids in their high school. But, of course, that team is good. They finished third in the state last year. So they knock off Tuscola 40-27 in that game. Tuscola now will play tonight, for the third place game against Bloomington. What does that say? Cornerstone Christian. Bloomington Cornerstone Christian. They were defeated by Waterloo Gibault earlier today, big time, 70-48. So that's who Tuscola gets in the third place game. The Bloomington squad, Bloomington CC, but not, of course, BCC. And then Waterloo Gibault and Scales Mound will play for the championship Saturday. I know in that game, not a lot of scoring. In fact, Tuscola shot 8 of 40 from the field, 3 of 23 from the three-point line. They did not have a scorer get to double figures. Cam Sweetenham led them with 8. Jordan Quinn had 7. He did pick up 11 rebounds on the day. And then they had Josiah Horton with 5. Parker James, the sophomore, had 2. Chris Boyd had 3. And Colton Musgrave had 2. That rounded out the scoring. Only one player for both teams hit double digits, and that was a young man off Scales Mound that did that. So Tuscola will play for the third, fourth place game, and they will do that tonight at State Farm Center. So good luck to the Warriors. That's a 7 o'clock tip. Time to check in with Derek Piper, and we're going to do it after a quick break. Of course, I have some work to do. You know, as spring nears, the sunshine ushers in warmer temps, although this week that's kind of changing a little bit, especially if you're listening in Chicago. But how about a time to refresh, renew, and restore your home? There's little tips. How about just the first impression? If you're going to paint, put some vibrancy out there. A fresh coat of paint in a crisp color on your front door even can be a beautiful wake-up call for your home. Freshen up that outdoor area as the weather warms. People start to draw outside, take walks around town. Have a fresh space that will add enticement to your house. And then, of course, let that sunshine in. Clean those windows and your mirrors and allow that home to shine. Whether your home refresh is as simple as decluttering and updating or whether you need a contractor, Busey's team can help you get started with a home equity loan or line of credit. Maybe there's that little thing you've been wanting to do and you've put off for a couple of years. Well, get it done. Visit with a Busey loan professional at one of their many conveniently located branches to learn more at Busey.com. Busey.com, member FDIC. Derek Piper from the UC. Next, it is The Drive.
If you want a hand-cut, perfectly cooked filet, there's only one place to get it. The Long Branch Steakhouse in downtown Gifford. Customers rave about Donnie's fillets. So tender that you can cut it with your fork. Don't go to an ordinary steakhouse. Choose Long Branch and have it your way. Join the many people who know that it's worth the trip. The Long Branch Steakhouse in beautiful downtown Gifford. And remember, there's always room for Long Branch.
Gear up to support your Fighting Illini basketball team this season at the official fan store of the Fighting Illini, Game Day Spirit. Shop their great selection of basketball t-shirts, sweatshirts, and NIL jerseys as you cheer on your Fighting Illini. Visit them at the corner of 6th and Green in Campustown, Neal and Kirby in Champaign, or online 24/7 at GameDaySpirit.com. Game Day Spirit, where Illini fans shop.
Lands Heating and Cooling here today to talk to you about your furnace or air conditioner. With these cold temps outside right now, we wanted you to know we've got dozens of furnaces and air conditioners ready in our warehouse. Call us today and Kurt or Michael will come out to your home free of charge, measure your home, and we can help you decide what system fits your house and your budget. Our team of skilled installation techs can come out and get your furnace working so that heat is on and working perfectly for you. Lands Heating and Cooling. Why call anyone else?
Jets is hiring. Call 217-352-9992 or stop into 1907 West Springfield Avenue near Round Barn in Champaign. Jets is open till 10 p.m. Fridays and Saturdays till midnight. Are you looking for a side hustle? Here's Josh from Jets talking about the benefits of doing deliveries.
When I was a delivery driver, it was amazing how much the actual amount of money I had just shot right up. You have money in your pocket every single day.
For details on joining the team, visit jetspizza.com. The Alma Market is your one-stop shop for one-of-a-kind creations from the University of Illinois alumni and students, as well as unique finds from some of your favorite Urbana-Champaign area businesses. Treat yourself or a loved one and support your fellow Illini today. If you're a University of Illinois student, alum, or Champaign-Urbana area business, feature your products on the Alma Market. Becoming a vendor is a great way to expand your reach and connect with Illini across the country. For more details, visit almamarket.org. Go Illini!
Hi, it's Stevie J. Sit back and relax and take the drive with Lonte and Derek Piper. Weekdays 4 to 6 right here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
The Drive, ESPN Radio 93.5. The Drive with Say and Piper. Right now, Derek Piper is sitting at the United Center in Chicago watching a good one between Iowa and Ohio State. Bryce Sensabaugh just knocked down a three to give the Buckeyes a 3-point lead in that game with about 3 minutes to play. So, interesting game. Ohio State led at half. Then Iowa kind of, I don't want to say took control, but they've kind of had a lead. But now here come the Buckeyes battling back, and it is time to check in with our guy who's watching this live, and that is Derek Piper on the Tapman's Towing phone line. What's up, Pipes?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Getting a little lively here at the UC, and how in the world did this Ohio State team lose 14-15 at one point?
I want to know that. I asked Andrew that 15 times that day when we were watching that game, and Ohio State couldn't miss, and they just looked confident. I think that was the thing. I'm like, how is a team that is like I think they were 3-12 or 3-14 at the time in the Big Ten. I'm like, how is a team with 3 wins that confident? But I guess maybe it's the youth, right?
Yeah, they have a good amount of freshmen. They brought in the top freshman class in the Big Ten, and also mixed that in with a decent amount of transfers. You look at likely the point guard, and also Sean McNeil's having himself a day and played well last night in Wisconsin. And Stewing coming back off the injury. So that's
big.
Obviously, Chris Holton would know better than any of us, but you just look at the talent on their roster; they're way too good to have had that kind of slide, but definitely making some noise and could advance over Iowa and make their way to Friday, make things interesting.
Yeah, they really could, because obviously Ohio State would have to win this tournament to make it into the NCAA. So, I just talked about how Illinois made that run when Corey and Lucas were freshmen. So it'll be interesting to see. Iowa did score on a Tony Perkins bucket, strong layup, and now Ohio State has the ball after a block out of bounds. So with about 8 on the shot clock, Ohio State with the ball up 1. Rutgers, Michigan, how fun was that game today?
Just kept waiting for Michigan to turn it on.
I agree.
In the second half, it never ultimately did. And to see them go 1 for 17 to start the second half, and it really is a credit to Rutgers' defense, but also maybe Michigan ran out of gas. A team that came in having played 3 straight overtime games, a very emotional one there in Champaign where they lost a double OT and had to go to Bloomington and play an OT and just came up short. So maybe that was a little bit of the sense going on there, but also they rely on some youth and made some mistakes. Obviously, Dickinson didn't really play all that well in the second half. They tried to go through him, but he wasn't able to carry them home. So Rutgers made some tough shots. Credit to Steve Pikiell, a guy that looks like he's going to get his program into the NCAA tournament 3 straight years. I think that's the first time that's ever happened for Rutgers. So I, of course, picked Michigan in our draft yesterday, very much regretting it. And as I sit here and rethinking, I'm like, man, did I really pick Juwan Howard as the coach over Steve Pikiell? And came back to bite me for sure.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I know it wouldn't help you if Iowa won this game, and I'm certainly not rooting for Iowa. Please let everybody know that. But if I knew that Michigan and Ohio State were both knocked out on the same day, I would be absolutely fine with that in whatever sport you threw at me. Of course, Ohio State just hit a three. I don't even know who that was that hit a three to put them. Oh, that was Suing. Okay, who normally doesn't step out. I should have known by the hair. But a big three for Suing as the shot clock was running down to put Ohio State back up by 4. All right, what's the feel like right now in the United Center? Are you seeing some Illini fans?
Yeah, there's a smattering of Illini fans here, and those that wanted to take enjoyment of the entire day, and watch some hoops, and of course start the beverages a little bit early too. I know that for the first game, you see them out in the concourse, and they were getting it revved up and wild, and participating in the NIT chants for Michigan at the end of that game. So Sparty and Illinois fans really locked hands and said, we're going to make sure they hear that as the way they go off the floor in the first game. So I'm sure we'll see a number of more pile in here as we get closer to tip-off, and maybe those that had to work or whatnot, or trying to get dinner in somewhere before they head over to the arena. But there's a decent amount of fans here, but I'll be honest, right now the arena's probably about half full, and I do think it'll fill up a decent amount more with Illinois, obviously the in-state school, coming into play tonight.
I feel bad making you do this while the end of this game, but they are taking a timeout. So we got a little break here that you and I can focus totally in. How in the world do you stop Pickett? How do you do it, Derek?
I don't know. I think that's the million-dollar question, obviously. I think you have some decent matchups, although I would have said that going into the last game as well. And Ty Rodgers, Coleman Hawkins, Terrence Shannon, all guys that threw that assignment at some point during the 41-point outing. And nobody really had that answer. I mean, Pickett went 15 for 20 from the field. He had 8 assists. He did whatever he wanted. And a night where he was shooting the three like that, in addition to what he does coming off of pick and rolls and obviously can post you up, there's nothing you can really have to throw at him when he's able to make that jump shot from the outside. I think that I remember discussing it after the game, and Illinois didn't try to really double team him. I know that when he gets in the post and you double him, you're playing right into what Penn State wants to have happen, because they want to kick it out and find shooters. But I think that when he plays in those ball screens, you can maybe blitz him a little bit, try to trap him. We talked about earlier in the week, and you full court press and just get it out of his hands. I think that's the biggest thing for me.
Yes.
Even if you can't fully stop him, try to get the ball out of his hands as much as possible. Try to eat into that shot clock for a Penn State offense that is really good at running their stuff in the half court. And you don't want to sacrifice like making Pickett pass, then give like Andrew Funk an open three.
Right.
Or, obviously Seth Lundy, 2 guys that were 1 and 2 in the Big Ten and 3-pointers made this year. But you got to try to find ways to, I think, throw some different things at Pickett. And I would like to see Ty Rodgers start today and see that matchup from the very get-go, because I think that he's someone that really, with his size, the guy that Pickett can't back down all that much, and I like the way the Ty is locking in defensively.
It always seems easy, and I'm no Phil Martelli, but, it just seems like if you could kind of double Pickett high and make him get rid of the ball, and then don't let him get back. You wonder if that could kind of, shake up a little bit of that Penn State offense. In other words, make it just a little bit disjointed down the stretch, and hopefully that can make a little bit of a difference just to knock them off balance a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that is something that, especially when Coleman Hawkins is a 5, that's something you could look to do a little bit more, because Bain's obviously going to sit there in the drop coverage. But if they are going to use the 5-man, whether that's Miles Dredd when they play small, or with their freshman big man to come out and set a screen for Pickett, although they do a good job of running a lot of guard-on-guard screens, so they bring Funk across, and then if you try to trap him, then Funk has that cross action, just running pretty much into a 3-point shot if Pickett can get rid of it. But, as much as you possibly can, maybe run 2 guys at him, quick trap, recover, and make it difficult. Yeah, if it's Ty on him, if it's Shannon, to try to deny that entry back into Pickett, and make that really be something that Penn State has to labor for, is putting the ball back in his hands, and see if they have enough guys who can play make and create and run that offense without him touching the ball too much. But Penn State's one of the top 10, top 20 offenses in the country for a reason.
Right.
He's been able to have this type of year when teams have obviously game planned for him and tried different things. But I think that's the pivot I would make if I'm Illinois, both as far as trapping him a little bit in that backcourt, both off the ball screen, but really also in the full court press. Because I think that if you can make him give it up and then kind of recover, and all of a sudden it's not a 25-second shot clock, it's maybe more so 15. It's a little bit harder for Penn State to execute their stuff.
Yeah, I would totally agree. Derek Piper joining us on the Tapman's Towing phone line. We're both trying to watch the end of this Ohio State-Iowa game. Both teams now all of a sudden can't miss. Ohio State just executed perfectly where they ate all of the shot clock and then got fouled. So now at the free throw line is a young man, Roddy Gale, and he just knocked down the first free throw to put Ohio State up 1. There is 33 seconds left in this one, so this is going to be a fun. It's amazing. Like, this Ohio State game right now that I'm watching is exactly the Ohio State game I watched against Illinois, where you couldn't stop them down the stretch. It was amazing to see. So speaking of that, how is Illinois going to make some stops tonight in terms of stopping momentum, I guess, and not only that, Derek, but starting strong? I know that the kids talked about that this week, about we've got to change that, we've got to start strong. What would be some keys to doing that for this Illinois team?
It really starts with your energy and your grit, attention to detail. Obviously, when you think about Penn State running their sets, run guys off the screens really well, and Shrewsbury really designed some good stuff to get guys shots and everything. So you can't have those breakdowns. I know that with Penn State, you're probably going to have to do a little bit of switching, and you got to have that communication. You got to be on the same page. Illinois, when you look back at last game there in February, we just had some busted switches. Even when Pickett was in the middle of the second half and had a middle of the 30-point game at that point, and you bust a switch, you give him a wide open layup. That stuff can't happen. So I think that, I mentioned it earlier, I would take Dane out of the starting lineup.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Coleman at the 5 is the best lineup that Illinois can throw out there. I'd put Ty in there, and that's really a button that I'm interested to see if Radner will ultimately push, because while he likes to say, I don't care who starts, you guys worry about that more than I do, this has been enough of a trend here recently where you got to think about trying to put your best lineup on the floor from the very beginning, especially against a Penn State offense. If they get confident, I think they will be, just seeing the line at Jersey, knowing what they've done. But
right.
To have Ty bring that energy, to be able to play Coleman and not sit in that drop coverage and let Pickett hit jump shots, that's what I'm really looking for. And you obviously have to close out hard on the three-point shooters, because Andrew Funk has hit 4 threes or more in nearly half of Penn State's games against Big Ten teams, and when he does that, they're like 7-2. So can't have him get going, can't have Dreg get going, Lundy. They're a load offensively. It's still only having to be dialed in and being able to execute at the offensive end too. I think going downhill is really important. You look back and they shot 27 threes against Penn State the last time they met up, and that's too many. Penn State doesn't have rim protection. They don't do a good job of containing inside the arc. I think Illinois can go downhill on them all day if they have the focus to continue to do that, not chuck some bad threes.
Derek, I don't mean to keep going back to this Ohio State game, but I don't know how the professionalism you're showing and still doing this interview while you just watched one of the wildest. Ohio State essentially got away with 2 tackles in one play down the court, and somehow it's going to be Ohio State's ball with 11 seconds left. They literally threw the ball away, and as soon as Tony Perkins was about to pick it up, Bruce Thornton came in and took down. It was a great wrestling move, essentially. And then at the other end, Chris Murray was about ready to grab the ball, and he gets tackled. It's like, holy crap, this is going to be a fun finish. And isn't it fun when the Big Ten tournament rolls around and the feel you get with all the different fans there from all the different teams? And you mentioned it, like Michigan State and Illinois kind of tag teaming up against Michigan. Can you describe that to people, just how fun it is to sit there and watch every game and just see all the different emotions that occur during a day?
Yeah, it's awesome. Like the Rutgers-Michigan game, knowing that the fans on both sides representing their teams for that one were knowing their season was on the line. Rutgers had slipped to the last 4 in line. Michigan obviously had to make some noise. It was just seeing the tension as that thing went down the wire in the second half, and the pain on the faces of the Michigan fans. And I mean, look, Michigan, you have those teams around the league that aren't that likable. I think Michigan obviously leads the pack in that. Indiana sometimes is one to gang up on. So you have those other fans there that aren't having a specific rooting interest in that game, but kind of they'll show early on which side they're on.
Sure.
And usually gravitate towards the underdogs. I think that you're probably seeing them root for Ohio State in this one. But it's just cool to see the representation of all the fans from around the league and just seeing the interactions between people that don't know each other, but they just have a passion for hoops and get a chance to sit back and enjoy a great day of basketball and some good eats and good drinks. And it's just a really fun environment and one with some of these teams that have a lot on the line. That makes it all the more interesting too. And when you look at tonight's game with Illinois and Penn State, the fact that Penn State is right on the bubble and Illinois could really use a chance to boost their seeding. So that's going to be really fun. But I do think that Illini fans will have a good turnout, but maybe the rest of the arena might be pulling for Penn State, especially if you're an Indiana fan or Maryland fan thinking about possibly playing them on Friday.
All right, before I ask you your prediction, I want to ask you with what we know so far, Rutgers winning, and obviously the Iowa, let's say they lose this game, which they are down 3 with 9 seconds left, Justin Suing at the free throw line for a free throw. So if Ohio State were to lose, if Iowa were to lose and Rutgers obviously gets the win, what does that do for both of those teams in your mind?
I think with Rutgers getting the win, they're probably feeling pretty good about being in. I know that Michigan was not a quad one win for them, but this is a team that has a pretty decent resume. They have a win on the road at Purdue. They have lost going into today. They had lost 6 of 8. They weren't turning in the best of directions, but their net ranking is pretty solid still, and I think they should feel pretty good. Obviously, can make it a no-doubter if they beat Purdue tomorrow, but I think that Michael and company are probably going dancing yet again. Maybe last year they were in the play-in game over there, one of them over there in Dayton, and maybe at worst case they would have to be involved in one of those. I think as you kind of look at some other bubble teams, like the fact that Wisconsin lost, that was a team that was in a do-or-die last night, and Michigan lost, they're a team that was trying to sneak into the right side. So that helps teams like Rutgers, that helps teams like Penn State for trying to hold down the fort on the right side of the bubble. And with Iowa losing, I don't know, Ohio State's a team that, while the record's not very good, their net isn't terrible, so it's not like a quad 3 loss or anything like that. I think Iowa's probably, off the top of my head, probably in that 6 or 7 seed range.
Okay.
I'm sure our guy Kyle would be able to fill me in a little bit better.
Well, he's not here. He's not here today.
Oh, no Kyle.
Yeah, no Kyle. Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, Ohio State, I mean, they got to win the whole thing. Otherwise, I don't even know if the MIT would want them for a team that's under 500 overall record, but making a little bit of noise, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, with Ohio State advancing and playing Michigan State, Ohio State's talented enough that they could stack up with anybody, and I wouldn't be shocked if they were able to win. And we usually see a day one team win a couple of games, and they've obviously done that. Can they keep it pushing forward against the Spartans tomorrow? That'll be interesting.
It is fun, and this game right here just kind of told you what March Madness is all about. We all know what it's about, but it's just things like this game that kind of remind you that. All right, Pipes, wrapping up. What do you got tonight? How do you think Illinois is the third time the charm for the Illini against this Nittany Lions squad?
Yeah, I think that obviously Illinois is going to have their full attention on this game. They'll fully respect what Penn State can bring to the table, and really there won't be any surprises, I don't think, for what Penn State's trying to do to you offensively, the sets they're going to run, the fact that Pickett's going to try to post up, he's going to try to get some good matchups. Hopefully with a handful of days to prepare for them, they're a little bit more well-schooled on what Shrewsbury's running as far as you see this setup and guys coming off the screen, you can adjust a little bit better or understand there could be some selective switching, like, okay, they're going to run this little rub.
Right.
You don't have to switch this. To have the communication and the awareness. And also, like, this is postseason play. I know that it's win or go home as far as Chicago goes. You still have the Selection Sunday and going to the NCAA tournament. That's not in jeopardy for Illinois, but you really need to start to lock in on trying to play your best basketball. I know Brad mentioned that after Purdue, and he feels like they are. It's just not in a consistent form or fashion to be down 24 at one point and come all the way back. I mean, it was great in the comeback effort, but try to really stack something together and really put some real substance into that. I think that's a big opportunity. But it starts with the beginning of the game, and I would like to see Brad push a different button at the beginning, as we talked about. I'd like to see him vary up the coverages and the defense's looks that Pickett's going to see with the press, with the double teaming and everything. And I think offensively, like, Penn State should have no answer for Shannon going downhill, for Hawkins being more aggressive in the paint, for Rogers on the offensive glass, who was great in the first matchup doing that. I think that also in the ball screen action, he's a lead guard. So ultimately, I think it's going to be a really tough game. It's a tough draw. Penn State has lots to play for, but I picked Illinois 76, Penn State 73. I think this is a tough one and hard to project. I mean, it's a guess, obviously, with the tournament and just Illinois' nature, but I do think third time's a charm for Illinois, but we really won't know for a couple more hours.
Music to my ear. Well done, my friend. Well done on that. By the way, Iowa was my highest seeded pick for my Big Ten tournament bracket, so that's a little scary. They're knocked out, and you advance with Ohio State already getting 2 victories, so congrats on that. I need Illinois to win for more reasons than this Big Ten bracket, I can promise you that, but let's hope that gets done. And then, of course, Minnesota surprised, and I think that'll help. That'll help Maryland, I think, a little bit in terms of getting an easy win and then getting ready for Indiana tonight. So, all right, my man, I'm hoping I don't see you at all tomorrow. In terms of, I don't know that we would anyway, but I just hope it's a no-brainer. Illinois wins this game. We don't see you tomorrow, and we'll talk to you again then. How about that?
Yeah, it sounds like a plan. Let's keep me up here for a couple of days.
Amen.
And we have one. It's always the weird thing. I've probably packed way too much in general, but you pack like you're staying until Sunday, and you're either going home with a suitcase full of unused clothes, or maybe you like, surely they'll only win 2, and you can only pack like 3 pairs of underwear.
I know.
You got to take a little run somewhere, but I'm ready to hunker down for the weekend, and hopefully we're here till Sunday, and hit me up tomorrow.
All right, buddy. Have fun up there, and let's get her done. Thanks, Pipes. Derek, I cut him off. Derek Piper, Tapman's Towing, phone line. Always good to hear from Derek, and it is true. And, of course, I know most of you that have heard this show forever always know the story when that Illinois team was the worst seed in the tournament and made a run all the way to the championship game. I had gone to Chicago to cover that game. I remember they played Quincy Lewis and Minnesota the first game, and I think it was a night game. And so Ron Rector was like, why don't you go cover that? And we just assumed they'd lose. I'd get some soundbite. I'd come back the next day, put a big kind of story together on Illinois, kind of our season recap, if you will. And then, of course, they win that game. And then I believe it was Indiana next. I think Indiana next. That's when Corey hit a big 3 from the corner. But Illinois beats Indiana. Then I think they played Ohio State, had Scooter Penn. Am I saying that right? Scoonie Penn. And they had another kid as well. And Illinois gets that done. And by Sunday, I had literally taken 1 pair of slacks, 2 pair of shirts, and 2 pairs of underwear. And so I had to go buy, as Derek said, Saturday, buy underwear. And it was like, what the heck? And then I wore my brother's slacks and a couple of his shirts for Saturday, thinking, all right, well, they won't beat Ohio State, and then they did. And it was like, all right, well, I'm going to be here till Sunday. That was just incredible and certainly not expected, that's for sure. One guy that has made a difference, really, and you'll understand what I mean by this. One guy that when he plays well, when he makes a difference, when you notice Coleman Hawkins, this team does really well. They need Coleman Hawkins from now on, and I don't mean just tonight, or if they get by tonight, then maybe tomorrow. No, every game played from now on, they need Coleman Hawkins.
Versatility is huge, and Coleman's ability to do that, you've got to have IQ and really good feel, and both of those guys had that, and Coleman obviously has it. So it allows him to be successful. He knows every position on the court, for every set, for every action. And he makes great reads. And when Coleman gets in trouble, it's usually because he overhandles. But when he's moving it and popping and screening and doing those things, and he's really effective. And I will say this about Coleman. I was devastated he wasn't on the all-defensive team. here's a guy who can guard all 5 spots. Here's a guy who can has meant so much to us, leads us in minutes, leads us in, we would be lost without it. And I was bothered by that, but he's had a great season, and hopefully that continues for us here in the postseason.
There you go, Coleman Hawkins. That's the guy that is counted on by this Illini team. When we come back, you'll hear a snippet from Coleman, also Terrence Shannon Jr. as we wrap up Hour 1. Again, thanks to Derek Piper joining us there on the Tapman's Towing phone line. If you want to weigh in, 359-2255. That's 217-359-2255. I thought of the other Ohio State guy, Michael Redd. Yeah, he's pretty good too. Penn and Red, but guess what? Not good enough to beat Illinois that day. All right, we're back. The Drive.
Hi, this is Steve from Good Vibes.
And this is Luke Goody from men's basketball.
Luke, it's great to have you back on the floor. We hope to see a lot of you in March.
I was pretty sure we get postseason games this year. I didn't want to miss out.
Most of us will be glued to the TVs for the tournament.
I don't want to watch it on TV.
Right, you want to have TV watching you and Terrence, Matt, and the whole crew.
I watched plenty of footage of our games, win or lose, plus whoever's next.
Too bad you can't watch those on a Sony OLED.
I know, right? I saw how great those look in your store, and they're so thin.
The Sony OLEDs have the best picture, the best sound, the easiest operation. We love them.
I saw your repair bench. Can your team really work on those if they need it?
Good Vibes has been a Sony service center forever. You can fix them, install them, and explain why you want this one versus that one. We know Sony like Coach knows X's and O's.
I believe they're good, but aren't they expensive?
Short answer, no. Come into Good Vibes in March. You can get a 55-inch Sony OLED for $12.99 and deals on sizes up to 83-inch.
Well, that sounds good. Game films probably would look better. Speaking of that, I got to practice and, watch some more of that film.
Better you than me, Luke.
Celebrate St. Patty's Day at Opia's all day with 350 pints, $5 for 25-ounce mugs of green beer, George Killian's Irish Red, the Guinness Pug Draft cans. There's $5 drinks for whiskey shots, a flight special of 4 special whiskeys at just $16, plus the Irish nachos and the fish and chips throughout Lent on Fridays. Come watch the NCAA basketball action, grab some Green Beads hats and t-shirts at Opia's, Springfield and Madison, Champaign.
Want unbeatable prices on your next furniture purchase, but also seeking that local hometown feel? Look no further than Kelsey Furniture in Tuscola. Customers rave about their friendly, established staff, as well as their great selection, amazing prices, and second-to-none delivery service. They're a third-generation local business, and they've always got your best interests at heart. Find the look you love for less. Open 9 to 5 Monday through Saturday, but always available online at kelseyfurniture.com. That's kelseyfurniture.com.
Your anti-aging skincare routine shouldn't stop at the neck. Get the rest of your body in on the action with Merle Norman's new Anti-Aging Complex Body Lotion. This rejuvenating moisturizer delivers long-lasting hydration that softens and smooths for the visibly younger-looking skin beneath your chin. Book your appointment now where beautiful changes happen every day. Experience our most luxurious, advanced, age-defying moisturizer today at Merle Norman, 706 West Market View Drive, over by Subway.
Hi, it's Stevie J. Start your day with me along with Diane Ducey, weekday mornings 7 to 9, here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Hard to believe it, already 4 games done at the United Center over the last 2 days. Ohio State, 13 seed, up, I guess I wouldn't call it an upset, but don't call it an upset. They beat Wisconsin last night, 13 seed advances over Wisconsin. And then Minnesota, I would call that an upset, over Nebraska. So Minnesota will face Maryland tonight. It's a nice little get for the Terps. Of course, Penn State, Illinois tonight, 5:30. You're waiting on that one. Ohio State advances to play number 5 Iowa, and they just beat them. Ohio State just knocked off the Iowa Hawkeyes 73-69. Bruce Thornton led the way with 17 points in that one. And then, of course, earlier today, Rutgers, the 9 seed, over Michigan. So essentially you had Ohio State, the worst seed, win against Wisconsin. Minnesota, the worst seed, win against Nebraska. Rutgers, the worst seed, win against Michigan. And Ohio State, the worst seed, win against Iowa. Now, there's another game next. I think we all know who that is, and guess what Penn State is? The worst seed. So they're 4-0 now, those lower seeds, higher seeds, however the hell you want to say that.
That's got to change, right? That's got to change. And Illinois needs to kind of break the funk that is happening right now at the Big Ten tournament. But certainly already in the second round, there's we got a 9, or into the third round, it'll be a 9 seed and a 13 seed so far. Let's make sure a 10 doesn't advance. You heard from Coleman Hawkins, and this is a kid that obviously he was a little disappointed, I think you could tell by his look, on not making the all Big Ten defensive team. But he just said, look, I can't worry about that. Not something I'm going to worry about. But he is looking ahead and worrying about Penn State. Let's get it done, Hawk.
What are the challenges seeing Penn State a third time? I guess what are the challenges in that?
Just the way they shoot the ball. And anybody on their team can get it going. Pickett just plays so well for them. He's a matchup problem. The way they shoot the ball, the way they run in transition. But they also got to guard us too. So I think if we amp it up on defense and get in the paint, I think we'll be all right. So.
TJ talked about we haven't seen a full 40 from you guys. How do you find that over the course of the next 3 weeks or month or however long this goes?
Wait, say that again.
You haven't seen the full 40 from you, 40 minutes from you guys, and just beyond everything clicking. How do you find that down the stretch run here?
I think it's just really the start of the games. I think we just got to come out with energy and set the tone right away. I don't think we played a game like that yet. We kind of got punched in our mouth, and then we have to come back in and fight it out. So I think just coming out with a punch early, just setting the tone early is important for us. So.
Coleman, would you like to try to speed this team up? I mean, the way they play transition defense, does that make it hard to get rolling downhill? Or?
Nah, I think we're just gonna have to guard. We were kind of soft on Pickett early, and he got going, and he didn't look back. So I think once we crawl up in them and actually really guard them, put pressure on them, I think we'll be at our best. Not necessarily speed them up, just be more aggressive with them. Playing the passing lanes a little bit, make catches hard, stuff like that. I think that'll be best for us. So.
That is Coleman Hawkins, of course, again, and one of the guys that's kind of an enigma for this Illinois squad in the sense that when he plays well, it seems like Illinois plays very well, and certainly they could use that tonight against a Penn State team that has had their way against the Illini. Terrence Shannon Jr., first team All-Big Ten by the coaches. He also had a chance to speak to the media this week.
So we still haven't played our best basketball, and we're still coming together, playing better defense. We still haven't put together a 40-minute game all year, and that's what we plan on doing in March, and I'm just looking forward to it.
What's made that 40-minute game a little bit elusive?
Our starts haven't been good, and that's been since the beginning of the season, starting with UCLA and Virginia and Texas. All our starts were bad. We haven't played a full 40-minute game against a good team all year. If we play the way we play in the second half, full 40 minutes, I don't think anybody can beat us in the country.
What's it going to mean to go back there then to your hometown and be able to play in front of Chicago again?
It means a lot. I have a lot of people there supporting me. That's where I grew up. Dreamed of playing at an NBA arena. It'll just be a good feeling. It'll be a better feeling winning the Big Ten tournament.
TJ, the challenges of playing a team 3 times, what are those?
It's hard to beat a team 3 times in a row. And Penn State, they haven't seen our best basketball both times. The point differential average, Coach Barrett said earlier, was about 13, and we just haven't played them well. But we plan to change that.
As someone who's been in the tournament, what have you kind of told the other guys about postseason basketball and how it's going to be different?
That the lights are pretty bright, and that shouldn't change the way you play. We worked all summer, and we're built for this time. There's no pressure. We just got to go out and play hard.
We will see if Terrence Shannon is correct in that they're built for this time. Of course, this program the last couple of years, we've kind of known what they had with Trent Frazier, Kofi, Io back a couple of years. You kind of understood what they had going into the tournament as, of course, a 1 seed the one year, a 4 seed the next. And this season, I know Pipes just wrote a big article about that this team is built for March, or is it? And that's what this squad thinks. And, of course,
The one thing I will give them credit for is they do have the ability to kind of switch up on defense and do some things that maybe that team last year could not do. But certainly they have not shown that against the Penn State Nittany Lions. And that is one thing that will maybe get Illinois fans thinking a little more confident if Illinois can show up tonight and beat this Penn State team and advance to play the 2 seed in the Big Ten tournament. Yeah, Northwestern. How crazy is that? The 2 seed in this tournament. So Illinois at 5:30 tonight, a tip against Penn State. If they win, they would play Northwestern tomorrow night at United Center again at 5:30. So we all look forward to playing the Cats again if Illinois can get it done tonight. All right. Next hour, my buddy Corey Witt has stopped by. We're going to shoot the bull. I know he's one of his friends, Bill Self, had a little scare. I don't know that we know exactly what happened. I had seen one report on Twitter. He had a mild heart attack, but then I saw another that it was an illness. So we'll try to read up on that, see what we can find out about Bill Self. But we'll talk to Corey about this Illinois game tonight. You'll also hear from Brad Underwood, who met with the media earlier. Lots to do. Stay tuned if you want to weigh in. 359-2255. 359-2255. We're back. It is The Drive.
Are you ready to be cool and take the plunge this winter? The 2023 Law Enforcement Torch Run Polar Plunge supporting Special Olympics Illinois will be held at Lake of the Woods in Mahomet on Saturday, March 11th. Register as an individual or team today at plungeillinois.com. Your efforts will support local Special Olympics Illinois athletes, accessing life-changing programming all year long. Get all the info at plungeillinois.com. Again, that's plungeillinois.com.
Mobile home residents in Champaign County, improve your energy savings as well as your comfort and safety with the RPC Mobile Home Initiative. Qualifying Ameren, Illinois customers will receive a free home energy assessment and discover ways to save on energy-efficient upgrades. A partnership between the RPC, Ameren, Illinois, and Future Energy Enterprises, the Mobile Home Initiative increases comfort and reduces energy usage while also providing energy-saving products. So learn more by visiting ccrpc.org.
Gear up to support your Fighting Illini basketball team this season at the official fan store of the Fighting Illini, Game Day Spirit. Shop their great selection of basketball t-shirts, sweatshirts, and NIL jerseys as you cheer on your Fighting Illini. Visit them at the corner of 6th and Green in Campustown, Neal and Kirby in Champaign, or online 24/7 at GameDaySpirit.com. Game Day Spirit, where Illini fans shop.
Norm Miller here, chairman of Interstate Batteries. You know, without batteries, life would be pretty lifeless. That's why Interstate All Battery Centers carry them in every size, shape, and style, so you can drive, drill, call, film, or do whatever it is you want to do. Stop in today. They've got the power to keep you going. Interstate All Battery Center. Outrageously dependable.
Interstate All Battery Center. You'll find them outrageously dependable just over Interstate 74 at 2504 North Mattis Avenue in Champaign, with batteries for most every application in stock.
Hi, this is Amanda Jean, the founder and planner of Inspire Your Wedding and Events. It's the wedding event of the year, coming to downtown Champaign on Sunday, March 26th. It's the Inspire Your Wedding Showcase. Join us for premier, interactive, immersive, inspirational wedding showcase to bring together vendors and couples from all over Central Illinois for your big day. Come to the Inspire Your Wedding Showcase at Carmen's in downtown Champaign, Sunday, March 26th from 2 to 5. For more information, go to inspireyour.com. That's inspireyour.com.
Think you have to settle for mediocre car insurance to save money? Think again. It's possible to get superior coverage and still save money with Erie Insurance. Customers who switched to Erie saved up to $951. It pays to compare. Switch and save with Erie.
Your Erie agent in Champaign is Thomas & Ellers Insurance.
Annual savings based on new customers surveyed in March 2022 who reported savings when switching auto insurance. Individual premiums and savings will vary.
Thinking of selling your home? Today's market is crazy, but one way you can be sure to stand out is by replacing your old flooring with new hardwood. And the best place to do it is Carpet Weavers in Champaign. Carpet Weavers boast the industry's best brands, including Shaw, Mohawk, Paramount, and more. When it comes to natural beauty and a rich quality, nothing beats new flooring from Carpet Weavers. And they have financing options for your budget, so you can always afford the floor you truly want. Increase the value of your home by installing new, high-quality options from Carpet Weavers. Find out more online at carpetweaversflooring.com.
Frankie at the gym says, "Do you even lift, bro?" Frankie at the Champaign County Humane Society doesn't care how much you lift. He just wants to lay on the couch with you and watch reruns of The Office. Carol in accounting will probably judge you for heating up your leftovers in the office microwave and stinking up the entire break room. Carol at the Champaign County Humane Society doesn't care what you eat, just as long as you scratch that one spot right under her chin. Carol the cat and Frankie the dog are just a few of the adoptable pets looking for their forever homes at the Champaign County Humane Society. They won't judge you for the food you eat or your workout routine. They just want to shower you with all the love they have to give. As the only open admission animal shelter in our area, the Champaign County Humane Society takes in any animal despite their age or medical condition. Learn more about adopting a pet, volunteering your time, and donating to the cause at cuhumane.org. The Champaign County Humane Society, where your new best friend is waiting.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
It may not get far. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. President Biden's budget is out, facing instant opposition from Republicans who now control the House.
My plan is to make sure the corporations begin to pay their fair share.
The president proposing tax hikes to help pay for the plan, which he says would lower costs for families and cut the deficit. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy telling Fox Business,
"It's not a revenue problem. It's a spending. And what does this budget do? Raise more taxes, spends more money, creates probably the biggest government we've ever seen in the history of the United States."
The president urging McCarthy to put out his own plan and then have a meeting. Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell has a concussion. So a spokesman for the 81-year-old says he fell at a dinner event in D.C. last night and will stay hospitalized.
McConnell is expected to stay in the hospital for a few days of observation and treatment. His staff says the leader is thankful to the medical staff and colleagues who sent their warm wishes.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz in Washington. President Biden tweeting his wish for a speedy recovery. Fox News foreign correspondent Benjamin Hall is on a long road of recovery after being severely injured during Russia's invasion of Ukraine, an attack that killed 2 colleagues. Hall has now had about 30 surgeries. He'll be on Hannity tonight, 9 Eastern on Fox News Channel, while the war in Ukraine continues.
The explosions began just before 6 a.m. in the dark.
Fox's Steve Harrigan in Kyiv.
We ran down to the basement here. 2 loud explosions in Kyiv. Explosions, though, in 10 different regions across Ukraine. So if you had a basement at 6 a.m., you were heading down into it.
The biggest barrage in weeks for Russia, killing at least 6 Ukrainian civilians and hitting more critical infrastructure, including a nuclear power plant again. Just getting word of a deadly shooting in Germany. Reports of several people killed and some injured in Hamburg. No details yet. America is listening to Fox News.
If you have certain chronic conditions such as heart disease,
asthma,
diabetes, and you're 19 years of age or older,
52, 36,
42, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just 1 dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I'm going to ask my doctor about getting vaccinated
with Prevnar 20.
China dominates a briefing on worldwide threats for a second day on Capitol Hill, but today's hearing also focused in part on intel powers in the U.S.
Many Republicans at the House Intelligence Committee hearing focused some of their time asking intelligence officials about a lack of trust they claim Americans now have in them. Utah Republican Congressman Chris Stewart read a letter from one of his constituents expressing concerns about the FBI.
They have no accountability, near absolute power,
and they know no one, not even Congress, can touch them.
FBI Director Christopher Wray said they have made mistakes, but they've implemented changes.
But we're determined to be worthy of all Americans' trust, including your constituents.
The criticism came as the intelligence officials asked Congress to reauthorize a section of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, or FISA, that allows agencies to spy on suspected foreign terrorists without a warrant. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
North Korea gets testy again, announcing a fire assault drill by its military after South Korean reports the North had fired a short-range missile earlier in the day and possibly more. Pyongyang has been warning the U.S. and South Korea about joint military exercises. North Korean state media says the assault drill proved its capability to counter an actual war. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky gets snubbed for a second time by the Oscars.
Variety reporting WME power agent Mike Simpson made a plea to the Academy to include the comedic actor turned politician, but was shut down. The Academy declined comment following the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Zelensky popped up via satellite at both Cannes and Venice film festivals, as well as the Grammy Awards at this year's Golden Globes. Sean Penn, who worked on a documentary on the war in Ukraine, introduced Zelensky, who reiterated his message that Ukraine will win the war against Russia. Michelle Polino, Fox News.
A sell-off on Wall Street, the Dow dropping 543 points. Lisa Brady, Fox News.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather. Free Central Illinois Champaign event and vicinity. Next, late season weather system taking aim at our neck of the woods over the next 24 hours. Paling in comparison, a far weaker feature from last Friday. Nonetheless, accumulating snow expected as close in as the I-80 and 88 corridor on northward into parts of the upper Midwest. Meanwhile, it'll be rain here moving in for the afternoon with high temperature about seasonal levels at 46. The east wind 15 to 25, a bit gusty. A couple of rounds of rain early on tonight, mainly before midnight. Breezy low down to 36. Winds will come around into the west, diminish for the day tomorrow. That west-southwest wind will pick on up 12 to 22. A couple of sprinkles early and late, and a high about 41. Some chilly air moves in for the weekend. Not before partly sunny, 42-degree readings on Saturday. Weekend highs in the upper 30s, or maybe a little rain snow mix coming through the area on Sunday. Monday, couple sprinkles in the afternoon, up to 37 degrees, and high temperatures from the upper 30s to mid-40s Tuesday and Wednesday. More rain the end portion of next week. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solgay.
Ignition sequence start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff.
Check. I literally just create madness.
Well, they're up.
I'm going to go off here.
They don't have a great quarterback.
I got to take a break. I'm getting in trouble.
To win the Big Ten, you first got to win the West.
Bad Bunny. Have you heard his name in a while?
No.
Has it bothered you?
No. Defensively, they got to come in with some confidence.
Is that even analytics?
I'm in a parking garage. I'm kind of lost.
Terrence Shannon, Matthew Meyer, R.J. Melendez, Coleman Hawkins.
These trophy presentations aren't over. I didn't come here to go 5-7.
I'm so proud of Illinois football right now. I'm so tired of Joel Embiid.
We're not taking Patrick Corbin.
I want to bet the Bears.
Oh.
You are Reba McEntire's niece.
Roshan Russell.
Coach Bielma.
You no longer here. Salute to yourself.
What?
We got all kinds of things for you here.
There's a lot of glass.
Oh.
Guys, we have breaking news.
Uh-oh.
It's The Drive.
Smack Dogs.
Thunderstruck. Yeah, Thunderstruck.
Well, good evening. It is The Drive, ESPN Radio 93.5. The Drive with Tay and Piper. Derek Piper not here today, nor is Kyle Tosk, who is on his way to Chicago. Derek Piper beat him there. He's already there. Derek Piper is at the United Center. Pipes joined us in the first hour. We, of course, rerun the 3 to 4 hour from 5 to 6. So if you missed Derek, you will hear that interview next hour. I also heard from, we heard from Coleman Hawkins and Terrence Shannon Jr. as Illinois prepares to face Penn State tonight at the United Center in round one for them of the Big Ten basketball tournament. Before I welcome our guests, I want to talk about Tuscola. The Tuscola Warriors today played in the state Final Four for Class 1A. They lose to Scales Mound, the team that knocked them off, and, of course, 40-27, the final there. Only one player the entire game scored double figures, and that was for Scales Mound, and his name is Thomas Hero. I think that's how you'd say it. I don't know. And then for Tuscola, Jordan Quinn had a good game rebounding, 7 points, 11 boards for Quinn. Cam Sweetenham led the team in scoring with 8. Josiah Horton with 5. Chris Boyd scored 3. Colton Musgrave 2. And Parker James scored 2 as well for Tuscola. But the Warriors shot 8 of 40 from the field, 3 of 23 from deep, and just kind of had a rough day in terms of shooting. Not that Scales Mound was setting any records themselves, 13 of 46 and 3 of 18 from deep. But Scales Mound, a school that has 70 students, and last year finished third in the 1A state tournament, they get it done, so they advance in this tournament to play tonight. They'll play Waterloo-Jubeau in the not tonight, I'm sorry. They'll play Saturday at 11 a.m. Tuscola will play tonight, and they will face Bloomington Cornerstone Christian. That was actually a team that was in our subsectional, the SDM, the subsectional we were in. So that is who will play Tuscola and Bloomington tonight at 7 o'clock for third place in that. I welcome aboard Corey Witt. Also, Caridia Shelby is here, but I'll start with Corey. Corey, you and I both played local basketball.
Yeah.
And 1989, when did you graduate?
89.
So that was the last year Tuscola went to state.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Lost to Rock Island Alleman.
Yep, and beat Rennie Clemens and Calvary in the
right.
Super.
In the Super sectional.
I want to say it's either single or double overtime.
I remember that. I remember it being overtime. That was in Springfield, I think.
Yes, it was.
So that was not easy for them to go over there. But now you and I know that we had to tussle with maybe two of the best until now, I guess, two of the best Tuscola teams, because my senior year, 88, they were really good as well. Pena beat them, and Pena went on to win the state championship. Gary Tidwell, I believe, was playing for Pena. Now he's coaching, of course, around the area. But they lost to them. But, they just really had a great junior class my senior year and also senior class. They were just, those two classes were just so good.
Hatfields and
the Hatfields and McCoy.
Yeah, boy, they were just, they were like clones. They come out and they all look like they were 6'6", 220. I mean, and they were just so athletic.
I'm sure Mark and Brian are thanking you for.
Now I know
they're not a hair over 5'10".
Yeah, well, but
I'm kidding, guys.
Their front line that year, though.
Oh, big time! Steve Weimer played at Eastern.
Oh man, I mean they were.
Yep.
They were really good and super athletic.
Super athletic, and they would press you. I remember asking Rob Taylor, who was the point guard. He was a senior like me. And I asked him one time, like, what do you guys, how do you practice and stuff? And he goes, you know what's funny? Kerry Kincaid was their coach. And he said, the first 30 minutes of practice, Coach Kincaid just throws the ball out. We just go scrimmage for 30 minutes. I love that idea.
That'd be fun.
Can you imagine? I used to tell my boys growing up, I'm like, and Lucas used to do it, and Andrew's done it a few times, but I'm like, go up to the U of I campus over by those tennis courts, and just play. Just play games. I mean, that's where you really learn how to kind of play games, and, just one game after another, and there's no timeouts.
Those playgrounds that you're talking about, they'll humble you real quick.
Oh, absolutely.
There's some really good players.
Really
there.
good. And it's like, there's no timeouts, there's no foul. No. You got to call your own fouls.
Right.
So, and you learn to toughen up a little bit, right? Because you're not going to, that little slap on the wrist, you're not at all. Or you're
Don't
going to be
even dare call that.
Like, I think no, I didn't. No, I didn't get fouled. I'm sorry. But yeah, so they always used to talk about that. And of course, Weimer went on to play at Eastern Illinois. Some really good guys on that. So congrats to Tuscola.
Absolutely.
And now, I mentioned this the other day because we, as rivals, of course, you got to counter with this thing. And I don't know that Tuscola ever saw us as a rival. I'm not sure. It was a lot closer back then.
Sure.
On some of the events. But certainly, I always have to throw out that Villa Grove won the state championship in 23 in basketball. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
They did. Do you know they jump balled between every
go ahead.
basket?
Oh, yeah. I remember that rule. Yeah,
it was one class.
I mean, I don't remember that rule.
It was one class. They played at a Huff Hall,
and they won.
They won state in 23, and they had to. They won baseball state in 22.
Oh.
But what's funny is they had the townspeople of Villa Grove took the train from Villa Grove to Champaign to watch the game. I remember they beat Rockford for the championship game, and back then Rockford was like winning like 4 out of 5 state championships. So is that crazy?
Was that your freshman or sophomore year?
I was in 7th grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was before you got there.
I almost had a ring. Tony Hooker, a buddy of mine, just did a big story on that for the Villa Grove or for the Douglas County kind of paper, and pretty cool
That
memory.
is neat. I did not know that.
Yeah, but for this Tuscola team, I mean, obviously they've had some great teams through the years, but what a run they've had, and of course they can still get 3rd place tonight.
Absolutely.
So a chance to get that down. I know T-Town, another kind of local team, T-Town getting beat pretty bad in their game today. I know they were down, 35-17 going into the 4th quarter. So, and who are they playing? They're playing, I can't see anymore. Chicago DePaul College Prep. That just sounds like a good team. 45-17 is the final. T-Town gets beat 45-17. I've never seen anything like that. Caridia, where did you go to high school?
Urbana
That's
High
right.
School, Proud Tiger.
That's right, man.
Yes.
Hey, we had Ella Masser on.
I was on the couch listening.
Oh, that's right. You were here.
I was, and I was just so blown away. I didn't get on the headset, but I really wanted to know all she said.
Oh.
I'm going to replay that one back.
Yes.
She made me so proud. I didn't know her resume.
It's incredible.
Was so dense.
It's incredible. Yeah, they walk on at Illinois after she has the most goals ever at Urbana for a season and a career, and then walk on at Illinois, turns out to be player of the year in the Big Ten, first team All-American by the time she's out of here. 15 years professional soccer, and now she's assistant coach at the Chicago Red Stars. Awesome. So a really, really cool story.
And of all that, the only question that I still had was who coached her at Urbana?
Oh,
I
don't know.
Was it Coach Blackman, who the field is now named after? The soccer
Is it really?
Field? I'm not sure, but I'm assuming so. He's been at Urbana High School for a while, no longer coaching soccer, but did well enough that the field was named after him.
I mean, how cool is that? Those are the kind of people that you look back on, and like personally, we have in Villa Grove, there was a gentleman named Russ Gear who was a longtime coach, and the football field's named after Coach Gear. And it's just imagine the time spent for all the kids through all the years that they have done that. You know, is it Narcola? It's Nancy Stiff, I believe
that's
the
correct.
longtime coach, and she was just someone that just gave all of her time to people, and it's just amazing, and you see that at so many different high schools, and it's just a cool thing because, like Coach Gear to me, you guys didn't know him, but he means he was so dear to me, and the memories, and I laugh to this day that he was the only guy that my mom would allow to call me Lonnie, because my name is not Lonnie, but Coach Gear would say Lonnie, and Mom was okay with that because he was such a great guy, but that's so cool, and that might be the case. Maybe somebody knows that. And they'll text in at 350. No. Dave says Coach Blackman had the boys' soccer teams. So maybe Dave knows who coached Ella. But in my book, Caridia Shelby is still the best athlete to come out of Urbana.
Agreed. And if you want to check that stat, I need you to go in the hallways by the Adam Oscar Gym at Urbana High School.
Boom.
And look in the women's basketball display case.
Okay.
And find my name. Find my name on the MVP plaque, on the best rebounder plaque, on the most improved plaque. Find my name, and then there's your proof.
There you go.
There's your proof.
So that's all I needed.
Cool.
Now Corey is the best athlete to ever come from Homer, Illinois.
Yeah, I think there's probably a few people that may disagree with that.
I was the top athlete to come from Patterson Springs, but actually not, because Trent Profit was an all-area linebacker, so I couldn't even beat out 3 guys for that honor. I always said I think I finished top 20 in my class in terms of grades. Now I had 40 people in my class.
Well, That's all right.
But, I'd go to SIU, and I'm like, yeah, I finished 18th in my class. Now, these guys would be from, like, Downers Grove.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, I'm from Villa Grove. And they're like, wow, man, how big's that school? I'm like, well, I was top 20 in my class in terms of education. They're like, dang. It's like, no, we had 46 kids. We graduated in 28 minutes. My dad said to me before graduation, he said to me, I've got $100 bill in my wallet if you can get this done in 30 minutes. Now, here's the funny thing. Our valedictorian, Aaron Runn, did not want to speak. He just wasn't big on doing that, right? So I believe the salutatorian was Michelle Skinner. So she gave a speech, and then Mr. Powell said, Lon, why don't you give a senior speech? And then he looked at me and he goes, but it's not a long one. That's exactly what he said. He goes, but not a long one. So I'm like, okay. So I just gave a quick little whatever, and we were done in 28 minutes, and my dad handed me that $100 bill.
Well, good for him.
Boom!
And good for you.
I should have kept that. Wonder what I spent that on.
Oh. Wild guess here, but
right. Mad Dog 2020 or something, the purple. Oh, that's terrible. All right, let's talk about something serious real quick. Bill Self has always been someone that's been big in your life, Corey, and I don't want to say that you're best friends with Bill, right? I don't want people to think that you and Bill are like chilling, having a beer every night. No. But certainly you have a connection with Bill from your coaching days when you used to coach high school. And you would go, I'll let you tell it, but essentially you got a chance to meet Bill because he would let you come and watch practice and stuff, right?
Yeah, he let me come. He let anybody. If you were a high school coach in the state of Illinois, you were welcome at practice.
That's amazing.
Every day. And it was the coolest experience. I can't even describe to you how much I learned.
I bet.
I mean, it was just, I thought, honestly, and I really thought I knew a lot about coaching and basketball, and I found out real quick. I mean, this dude, he's got a scrimmage going on and he can he'll stop it and tell all 10 people what they did wrong.
You're kidding.
No, that's the most amazing thing. I mean, how do you see what 10 people did at once?
That is amazing.
And he told them all what they did wrong, what they did right. This is what we need to do.
That's amazing.
And at the time, Billy Gillespie was an assistant, and he kind of turns around and looks at me, and he just kind of mouthed, that's why he's Bill Self.
That's an amazing story. Well, today the word is essentially that Bill Self had a mild heart attack. So he did not coach in today's game against West Virginia. I believe they beat West Virginia.
I think they did. They were up 9 late.
Okay. Norm Roberts, who, of course, was a longtime assistant, has been a longtime assistant for Bill Self and was here, of course, at Illinois. Who was that coaching staff here? Norm Roberts, Billy Gillespie.
Well, and Rob Judson was on
Rob Judson
was on the original one.
That's right.
And then Wayne McClain came in.
Man, what a great guy, Wayne McClain.
Oh, he was great.
Holy cow.
He's a pretty good little high school basketball coach, too.
I think so.
He did all right.
Those were some fun years, Peoria Manual.
Yeah, they were.
They won 3, 4.
I think it was
4.
Was it 4?
Did they win 4 straight?
I know they won 3 for sure.
Man. That's amazing. That is amazing. By the way, I'm sorry I interrupted you. Dave said, good afternoon, Lon. This is Magic Dave. I didn't know he was Magic Dave. Tuscola played. They didn't play well. They didn't shoot the ball horrible. They just couldn't score. The main reason they got out-rebounded by Scales Mound. So I've got that box score. Scales Mound had a total of 37 rebounds. Tuscola had 32. So not as crazy as you'd think, but certainly they didn't get the win today.
Back to that Tuscola game just real quick. Parker James is somebody, his mom and dad I've known for my whole life. They were from Homer.
Yeah,
they've moved to Tuscola. Guy James and Stacy.
Tuscola now recruiting Homer.
Yeah, they're recruiting. But anyway, I went to school. Stacy and I went to school my whole,
that's awesome.
K through 12.
I know he had 25 in the game against Altamont.
Oh, did
that 4 overtime
and
game?
He's a sophomore.
He's a soph, yeah.
But anyway,
cool.
A little plug there. It's kind of cool that people that I know that their son really has sounds like he's had a great year.
That's he did,
and a promising future.
Absolutely. Dave also said DePaul Prep, the team that just beat T-Town, coached by ex-DePaul standout Tommy Kleinschmidt. I remember Tommy Kleinschmidt. He was one heck of a player for DePaul. Okay, here's what we're doing. We got to talk Illinois basketball. I know Caridi is ready. I know Corey's ready. He's got his Illinois Fighting Illini. He's going to be you're not going to Chicago, but you are going to be enjoying the game.
I am going to be enjoying the game with a few friends.
So when we come back, we'll get to this game with Penn State and Illinois. Can Illinois finally solve the Nittany Lions? And why does it seem like the last 10 years or more, it has been just this weird series against Penn State. When Taylor Battle and even some of the earlier guards would come in here, and then, of course, the infamous low-scoring game in Champaign. What was that, 40-38 or something that Illinois lost? Is that when Rich McBride, knocked one down, but it was right after the buzzer?
Yes, it was. And I think,
was it 38-35 maybe?
It was something crazy like that. I don't think either team got to 40.
That's just, oh, my goodness. Nothing like setting basketball back.
Oh, my goodness.
That was the end of Bruce, right? That was at the end of his tenure?
Yeah.
And, well, thankfully we had John Gross come in.
And we had a shot clock. I can see if back in the days before the shot clock, but gee whiz. I was at that game with a buddy, and I said, I don't know. I can hardly watch this.
Yeah,
this is brutal.
I feel like that would have been my last time I went to see a game, if that's the case. But certainly, anyway, it's been a kind of unique. I mean, Illinois won more than they lost, obviously, against Penn State, but it's kind of been a unique series. Shouldn't be this competitive kind of series against the Nittany Lions through the years. And, of course, this season, it hasn't even been competitive, as Penn State has hammered Illinois twice. So can Illinois figure that out and move on to play then even stranger, the number 2 seed Northwestern? I want to ask you guys about Northwestern, and do you believe in Northwestern? Why wouldn't you by now, right? I mean, they have proven it. Heck, they were up 18 here at Champaign against Illinois, and Illinois, of course, came back to win that game. We will also hear a little bit from Brad Underwood before we're out of here today. So that is the rundown for this hour. If you want to weigh in, I know some of you are, 359-2255. That's 217-359-2255.
And it seems like we may have some Coach Blackman fans out there. So let me just clarify.
Okay.
Coach Blackman, Randy Blackman to be exact, he coached wrestling at Urbana High School in 1985 through 1994, softball in 95, girls soccer 1996 through 2005. So that would have been Ella Masters' freshman and sophomore year. But then he returned to coach women's soccer 2011 to 2015.
So some of the choices he made in life were not smart. I mean, he had one of the best soccer players ever, and then he decides to just up and quit after her sophomore year.
But he did coach boys soccer from 1986 to 2017.
Man.
Yes, so there we have it.
What a run.
Great.
That's impressive. That is really impressive. Thank you for the update. That is cool. What was his name again? It's
Randy Blackman.
Randy Blackman. Okay, I know I've heard that name, but yep.
Yes.
Retired, and I'm sure listening to us.
You know that.
He's probably like, man, what? People are blowing up his phone like, hey, they're talking about you on local radio. All right, we're back. It is The Drive.
The Alma Market is your one-stop shop for one-of-a-kind creations from the University of Illinois alumni and students, as well as unique finds from some of your favorite Urbana-Champaign area businesses. Treat yourself or a loved one and support your fellow Illini today. If you're a University of Illinois student, alum, or Champaign-Urbana area business, feature your products on the Alma Market. Becoming a vendor is a great way to expand your reach and connect with Illini across the country. For more details, visit almamarket.org. Go Illini!
Looking for a custom design that stands out for your business? Wanting to get your vehicle wrapped but just don't know where to go? It's Aftershock Decals and Designs. From vehicle wraps to building designs, Aftershock creates designs that make heads turn. Heck, they wrap all of Land's heating, cooling, and plumbing trucks and vans. The one where Troy Lands is waving, that's Aftershock. Aftershock Decals and Designs. Heck, they also do signs, banners, even amazing coffee tumblers. Check them out at AftershockDD.com.
If you want a hand-cut, perfectly cooked filet, there's only one place to get it. The Long Branch Steakhouse in downtown Gifford. Customers rave about Donnie's fillets. So tender that you can cut it with your fork. Don't go to an ordinary steakhouse. Choose Long Branch and have it your way. Join the many people who know that it's worth the trip. The Long Branch Steakhouse in beautiful downtown Gifford. And remember, there's always room for Long Branch.
Busey Bank, leading the way to your financial wellness. No matter where your financial journey begins, Pathways banking options at Busey are designed with your goals in mind. Busey Bank, building strong financial futures, one family, one street, one city at a time. Proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
Illinois Marathon Race Weekend will start Thursday, April 27th at the U of I's Activities and Recreation Center with the Health and Fitness Expo, race registration and packet pickup, then the Green Street Mile at 7:30 p.m. Friday, April 28th, back to the Arc starting at 10 a.m., then the evening 5K off of Oak and St. Mary's after 7 p.m. The festival scene off of Kirby between 1st and 4th Street for the 4th Mile Party is from 6 to 10 p.m. Of course, Saturday the 29th, all morning around Memorial Stadium will be buzzing. IllinoisMarathon.com. The third week in April, our community welcomes back Ebert Fest with the theme Empathy in the Movies. U of I graduate and Urbana native Roger Ebert found hope in films with empathy as we find our moral compass and attempt to live on this earth in peace. The College of Media at the University of Illinois will be bringing in special guests like Frank Oz this year. Roger Ebert's Film Festival depends on the generosity of volunteers at the Virginia Theater. Sign up now to be a part on April 19th through the 22nd at ebertfest.com/volunteer.
Rescue workers face death every day, and far too often their families lose them while they're helping you on the road. When you see emergency lights flashing, you must slow down and move over to the far lane. That includes red, blue, and orange lights. If you hit someone on the road, you'll be charged with a felony. That means jail time. Help us keep our families safe when we're out helping yours. When the lights are flashing, use caution passing. Let's all go home safe tonight.
Brought to you by Tapman's Towing.
US 1059 is your home for the Chicago Cubs. Would you like to get messages about your business out to MLB fans? Plus, the St. Louis Cardinals are across the hallway at Stevie J Broadcasting on ESPN 935. Get details now on the baseball packages by emailing diane.ducey@sjbroadcasting.com.
Celebrate St. Patty's Day at Opia's all day with $3.50 pints, $5 25-ounce mugs of green beer, and George Killian's Irish Red. Don't forget the big $5 Guinness Pub draft cans either. Enjoy $5 whiskey drinks, shots, or a flight of 4 special whiskeys for just $16. Pia's will be serving up its famous fish and chips and Irish nachos throughout the festive day on March 17th. Watch all the NCAA basketball action, grab some green beads, hats, t-shirts, and be Irish for the day at Pia's. Pia's at Springfield and Mattis in Champaign.
Welcome back in. It is The Drive, ESPN Radio 93.5. The Drive with Tay and no Piper, no Kyle, but we have Caridia Shelby here. And we also have Corey Witt, my buddy. We put the camera on Caridia because we suddenly found out, like, what are we doing putting the camera, YouTube camera, on you and I?
I couldn't understand. I said, please do this.
So, Caridia, now you have to look beautiful the rest of the show.
Well, you know,
which is easy for you.
That's going to be easy. And let me tell you why. You all have no idea of this, but today's my birthday.
What? Oh, my goodness.
Really?
Happy birthday.
Are you
so
serious?
The camera's on me. I'm glowing. I'm going to be glowing. Make sure you all tune in to YouTube Live.
Unbelievable. Caridia is finally 21 years
finally
old.
21.
Yeah! Wait a minute. You were drinking with me the other day. You were drinking illegally? I'm kidding. She's...
Add 7 more to that. Add 7 more to that.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
That is crazy. Kara it's her birthday today as well. So you guys have been like, you were like, you going to come watch the Illinois game? I'm like, it's Kara's birthday.
Yeah, you better.
I better put a no to that. So that's awesome, man. March 9.
March 9.
Well, congratulations.
And the camera's on me. What better gift?
You're glowing all the time, but certainly today, that is great.
It's a gift to everybody watching, too, compared to having it on me and Lon.
Exactly. Right. Any big plans tonight?
No, I'm
so busy at work that it's hard for you to be getting crazy on a Thursday.
Correct. However, when Illinois is playing in Chicago, you make every effort you can to get there. So that is my plan.
Okay.
Hopefully they pull off the W today.
Let's go.
And I can catch the games tomorrow.
That'd be awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, get up there for the 5:30 game. Of course, they've got to win tonight, right? So let's start with that. Corey, I'll start with you.
Okay.
I mean, I know you and I only our prowess of basketball only lasted through high school, but certainly they would always say you can't beat a team. It's hard to beat a team 3 times. Why is Penn State – I mean, we know why, I guess, but Can they literally beat Illinois for a third time? I mean, why are they the 10 seed and we're the 7? and they look like they're the best team in the country when they play.
Well, they're a 10 seed because they don't play like that against everybody else.
Exactly.
I don't know what I can't put my finger on what they do offensively that we just can't seem to. But I don't know. We need to change some things up tonight. Oh, I'm surely they're going to change some things up with Pickett and maybe blitz the ball screen a little bit more at the top of the key and kind of make him a little more uncomfortable and get the ball out of his hands a little bit.
I hope.
I realize he also is a very good passer, but, I mean, you got to pick your poison a little. You can't just let a guy – when he gets that comfortable like he did over at Penn State, that just opened up everything for everybody. I mean –
there's no doubt.
So maybe make him uncomfortable as you can and take your chances.
Caridia, what do you think?
Well, I'm going to look at a couple of things. The last time that Illinois matched up with Penn State, they did not have as many offensive rebounds as Purdue had against Illinois. And I just think that we cannot give offensive rebounds away because it's dangerous. It creates immediate points and too many second chance opportunities. I think if Illinois defense shows up and stop, I mean, Pickett can't have 41. I mean, I hate to state the obvious,
but he can. Well, that's the problem.
Well, he did.
He did, right? Yeah, he did. That's true.
So I'm interested to see what Illinois will do around that defense. And it looks like Harris has been showing up for Illinois' defense. We need him to get some stops.
Yeah, Sincere would be good. I mean, that'd be big, but I just feel like Pickett can just take him down and back him down, you know. Yeah. But you bring up a good point, offensive rebounding, and Brad Underwood said, I don't believe it wasn't during the Penn State games, but he mentioned that he has a goal every game that his team rebounds 40% of their misses. Now that's a hefty goal, right? But I think you got to put your goal high, right? Absolutely. I mean, I guess it could be that, okay, Lon, you're only having you're only having 12 Mountain Dews this week. Well, I could probably get under that, you know, so that's not really doing much of a goal.
Right.
So the idea that Illinois tries to get those offensive rebounds, but also transition, which is a place that Illinois can thrive in. Even a guy like Sincere can get out and run. So the thing about Penn State is what they do, and Brad talked about it this week, and you'll hear about it here in a minute, is essentially they'll just have one guy rebound after a shot, and then they send 4 back. So essentially you're not getting any transition against Penn State, and that's the way they want it, right? So then if you're not getting that, then now you're working the ball all around. You're kind of eating up the clock. It's similar, Corey, to like Wisconsin in a way, right, of what they do. They limit your possessions on offense, and then normally – and I'm thinking back to these Wisconsin teams. Normally, they're so efficient with their scoring that all of a sudden you're down 8, and it feels like you're down 20, right?
Yes, it is, because you don't get that many possessions against them. Like you just said, yeah, it makes it really difficult. And they, well, especially against Illinois, they've been super efficient.
They really have.
But I honestly think I don't think that's going to happen again tonight. I really don't. I think that Illinois is going to make some nice changes. One thing I would like to see, I would love to see Ty Rodgers start and be on Pickett.
That's what Piper said.
Yeah.
I would agree.
I think he would have a lot harder time just doing that little back down that he does.
Because he can do that and dominate. And then like Pipe said, if you go to double team him after the back down, that's playing right into what they want. Because then they'll kick it out. They've got so many guys, even down to Miles Dredd, who can hit threes. And if they start going, then look out, right, when it comes to that.
Well, and the whole thing starts with Pickett every single time down the floor.
Big time. I love that idea with Ty Rodgers getting the start. All right, I'll ask both of you this. What Illinois player has to come through tonight? Now, there's 2 obvious with Terrence Shannon, obviously, and Matt Meyer, right? Now, those are 2 obvious, and you can certainly use those 2. But is there a player, Caridia, that you think needs to have a game tonight for Illinois to win this?
Well, what's interesting is I was going to ask you how many players do you think need to come through tonight?
Well, that's a good way to put it.
Because Terrence Shannon, he had 20. I feel like the points were spread out between last time these two teams matched up. Coleman had 12. Shannon had 20. Epps had 12.
Yeah.
And will he play?
I doubt it. I mean, I think we would have heard by now. I think there would have been some rumbling. Now, I'm not staring at Twitter right now.
Right.
But I think we would have heard by now. It's funny. I didn't even ask Pipes that.
So
Professional is what I am.
So I think more than asking which players, it needs to be how many players need to show up. It can't all just be on 3 players. We're in the Big Ten tournament at this point.
Yeah.
We have to use our bench. We have to create a instant offense right from the start of the game.
Yeah.
We can't give away careless offensive rebounds. So I would say I would like to see Danger have a great game and show up. I can tell there's been some tension between them, just him sitting a little bit more minutes, but hopefully that's changed and he'll show up. We can get some points in the paint. You said Matt Meyer, Terrence Shannon Jr., Coleman Hawkins. If he can provide consistency and throughout this tournament, I think there's no question what Illinois can do. And as far as on the defensive end, I think Sincere Harris brings the energy.
Oh, he's unbelievable.
However, Ty Rodgers, he brings the defense. He also has the ability to score. He went 6-5 last time against this matchup with 8 rebounds.
Yeah, well, rebounding. I'm a huge rebounding guy. I mean, stop them from getting a second shot and get an occasional second shot on your end, and that just to me is huge. So I agree with what you're saying. So do you think they need more than 3 to have big games? I'll ask you this, Corey. To beat Penn State?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I think Penn State's going to score. I mean, they just have too many guys that I think the key, and it's not just against Penn State. I think anytime Illinois takes the court, just being smart.
Right.
I mean, we have to lead the world of basketball and passing up a good shot to take a bad one.
Yeah.
Or a turnover.
Yep.
I think it's more about Illinois and when they play properly, they get downhill, they get in the lane. Then you get the threes that come within the rhythm of the offense.
Absolutely.
Where you're stepping into a three instead of dribble, 3, fade away. And
you're right.
When Illinois plays properly and gets downhill, this team they're really hard to beat. I mean, they outscored, what was it, Purdue, 48-29 in the second half something crazy like that?
Yeah. And Brad said we're playing our best basketball this year.
Well, we are from about the 12-minute mark of the first half to
nothing personal, Brad, but I don't know you're playing your best.
Terrence cleared that up for us. I will say he said you all haven't seen our best basketball
yet. He did. So maybe.
Well, I hope after 31 games we'll start seeing their best basketball.
Exactly. Okay, here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to finish the show. We're going to hear from Brad Underwood. But before we get to that, I got to hear your gut feel for tonight. I'll start with you, Corey. This is an Illinois team that is the better seed, but an Illinois team that has lost twice to Penn State.
You know, my gut tells me that just from watching the first 2 games, it tells me that I don't think they would get it done. But I do, on the other hand, I think that it is the third time.
Right.
I do believe there's going to be some adjustments. I don't believe that Penn State's going to shoot 9,000% from 3 again.
I mean, that's what it comes down to, right, for me.
So I do think, I really do. I think Illinois, it's going to be tough, but I think they're going to eke this one out.
Okay.
And I would have to say that it's my birthday. Illinois alumni.
It's my birthday.
Illinois has to win.
Yes, I agree.
However, I think that one thing people don't consider enough is that it's going to boil down to coaching and strategy. It's so much strategy that comes with coaching that the players then have to execute.
Amen.
So
Amen.
When the players show up, I think it's an easy Illinois win. But if Brad Underwood can out-coach Micah Shrewsbury,
right,
it's a guaranteed win.
Shrews, he likes to use a lot of those NBA sets, so we'll see. We'll see what can happen in that sense. And by the way, Lewis said Epps is dressed and warming up right now, so we'll see. what that means in terms of if he's able to play tonight, that would be incredible. I mean, that'd be a huge jump for Illinois, or a huge boost.
That would be.
For the Illini. So, on my end, I just don't want to see Penn State in the first 5 minutes of this game knock down like 5 threes. You know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously that's so simple to say, but then I'll feel like that what has happened to Illinois in the last 5,000 games where they get behind by double figures. What is it? The last 3 games have been down by double figures at halftime. But when you let teams score like that early, then obviously the confidence is there for them.
Absolutely.
I mean, I was a guy that didn't shoot well, but if I hit my first shot, man, I couldn't wait to take my second. Right now, then after about the 4th miss, I was back to like, okay, I better not keep shooting. But, certainly if you're giving them confidence early, and again, it sounds so simple, but I just don't want to see Penn State knocking down 28-footers right off the bat, and you're just like, oh, here we go again. Because I feel like, even though it shouldn't, especially at this age in college, I don't think you should ever feel that, oh, here we go again, like maybe you would in junior high or high school. But certainly when you've been knocked around by Penn State twice, maybe that seeps into your head. So, all right, Caridia, does Illinois win?
Illinois wins.
Okay. Birthday win for Caridia.
Guaranteed.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Let's go. How about you, Corey?
Like I said, I think they're going to eke it out. It might be my heart talking more than my gut, but I do. I think they're going to it's going to be tough.
Yes.
It's going to be really tough. But I think we're going to eke this one out. And then I think tomorrow night against Northwestern, I like that matchup better than tonight.
I do too. And then the one guy that when I drink beer with him, he always brings the kind of the common sense approach is Kurt White, who's sitting on our couch. Kurt, yes or no, Illinois wins tonight? Yes. All right. So, okay.
Thumbs up.
I don't think he would just say that because it's Caridia's birthday, which he doesn't even know. He just walked in again. But I just, okay. That's good to hear. I do, too. I think Illinois gets it done. I really do. All right. When we return, you're going to hear from Brad Underwood, unless Caridia wants to mouth Brad Underwood the entire time. You're going to hear, that's the medium I'm in. You're going to hear Brad Underwood and his thoughts on Penn State. We'll do it next. It is The Drive.
Hi, this is Steve from Good Vibes.
And this is Luke Goody from your men's basketball team.
Luke, it's great to have you back on the floor. We hope to see a lot of you in March.
I was pretty sure we get postseason games this year, and I wanted to be a part of it.
Most of us will be glued to the TV for the tournament.
I don't want to watch it on TV.
Wait, what? Oh, you want to be on the floor and see it up close.
I get to watch plenty of basketball. Films of us winning, losing, who we're going to play next.
I bet that footage would be clearer on an LG OLED screen.
I know, right? I saw how great those look in your store.
The LG OLEDs deliver the best picture for the buck.
And they're so flat to the wall.
Yeah, the Gallery Series is a step up. They mount so flat you can't see behind the TV and come with a free 5-year warranty.
That all sounds great, but it also sounds expensive.
Well, you can buy cheap, but you'll buy twice. Get the good one and it'll look great for years. You can even get 0% financing.
My initials are LG. Maybe they want to make a trade. Anyway, I gotta go watch some of that film.
Better you than me, Luke.
Gear up to support your Fighting Illini basketball team this season at the official fan store of the Fighting Illini, Game Day Spirit. Shop their great selection of basketball t-shirts, sweatshirts, and NIL jerseys as you cheer on your Fighting Illini. Visit them at the corner of 6th and Green in Campustown, Neal and Kirby in Champaign, or online 24/7 at GameDaySpirit.com. Game Day Spirit, where Illini fans shop.
This is XYZ Insurance. How can I help?
I have a question about my home policy.
Okay, question about phone policy.
Home policy.
Okay, gnome policy.
HOME, home.
Technology is great, but sometimes it's better to talk with a real person. With Erie Insurance, you have a caring, independent agent who's with you from beginning to end.
We don't have any HOMEs on record.
Your Erie agent in Champaign is Thomas & Ellers Insurance. Go to erieinsurance.com for company licensure and product details.
In an ever-changing real estate market, it is so important to work with experienced agents like Russ and Nick Taylor with the Taylor teams at Taylor Realty Associates. They have the knowledge and expertise to get your home sold for the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time. Trust the experience and success of Russ and Nick Taylor with the Taylor team at Taylor Realty Associates. Give them a call today at 217-355-0700 or visit them online at Taylor TaylorBoys.com. That's TaylorBoys.com.
Carl works every day to improve the health of community members across the region, and it would not be possible without team members like Dwayne Linton, a nationally certified nurse in the emergency department at Carl Foundation Hospital.
I work with a team of people who really care about what they do and are very flexible and adaptive in rapidly changing critical situations, and I would trust any of them at any time.
If you're looking for an opportunity to serve your community like Dwayne in a supportive environment, visit carl.org/careers.
Carpet Weavers is flooring their customers. They work with the biggest brands to bring you the best selections and prices on hardwood, luxury tile, carpet, and more. Stop in at 616 West Market View Drive in Champaign and let one of their sales associates help you find the perfect flooring for your lifestyle. Their 100% satisfaction guarantee allows you to be confident in your purchase. Carpet Weavers has been flooring people with beautiful carpet and flooring since 1988. In fact, they're nationally ranked as one of the top 25 specialty flooring stores in the country. Find out more online at carpetweaversflooring.com.
Hey, Illini fans, it's Mike Greenberg. Catch Lon Tay and Derek Piper weekdays from 4 to 6 right here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Chicago for what I think is going to be one of the all-time great postseason tournaments. You know, I've never seen a conference schedule go down to where every game was meaningful on the last day or pretty close to it. The winner became a 2 seed, or if they had lost, could have been a 9. I think that speaks volumes to the competitive nature of this league, the evenness of this league. Obviously, congratulations to Purdue, for Matt and his club. You know, it's a clean slate. Now you're in one and go home. If you don't play well, another opportunity to go out and compete. And we look forward to that opportunity. And obviously, Penn State is a team that has had a great year. I think Mike has done a heck of a job in his 2 years there. Obviously, in my opinion, I think if Zach wasn't the MVP of our league, Pickett would be. He's had that kind of year. He's put up those type of numbers. That team minus him is significantly different, and we've not guarded him very well. So they've shot 54% combined in 2 games against us, and we're a better defensive team than that, and they are elite offensively. But we've got to be better at both ends, and we're capable of that. And we've got a great challenge on Thursday, and we'll see how it goes. He is in our protocol, which is a good thing now. You have to get to your base level before you can do that. So he's in protocol, and again, as with everything else, everything goes a reaction to what he does the day before.
You seeing the difference this time? Will he travel with you to Chicago?
He will.
When did he get into the protocol, start that process?
I don't even know what today is. Monday? What is Tuesday? Yesterday.
But when the players say, how does it have to change defensively to take away the 3-point line from them?
Yeah, they're making 12 a game against us, so it's something that they put. They've got elite shooters at every spot. Now you add what Cam Winters or what Winters done in the last 5. I think he's 13 of 17 in his last 5 from the 3. And so you worry about Pickett's post ups, and you worry about 4 other guys who can shoot the cover off of it at about 40%. So it's a challenge. It's why they're successful. And that being said, you've got to make them guard on the other end, and you've got to guard them without fouling as well. So we gave them some points in transition. We've got to clean that up, but we'll see how it goes.
This is right for the motion. It's hard to beat the team sometimes. Is that a cliche?
I sure hope it is, but no, I think you got to go play each game independently, and you can't you can't be overconfident, you can't be underconfident. You've got to show up and play, and we know they're good. They've definitely earned our respect, and the first game here, we were a different team than we were the second time. But you can't gift this team points. You've got to make them earn it, and we haven't done a very good job of that in 2 games.
Did you like what you saw Sunday out of Coleman at the point and just kind of running things?
Yeah.
Especially in the second half?
Yeah. He's our 5-out stuff is really good, and you combine that with the fact that when we touch the paint, we're really, really efficient. I mean, we're about a 1.45 or 1.5 OER. What we can't do is stand. And when we get in trouble in our 5-out stuff is when we stand and don't cut or don't screen. So, we had matchups we liked in that game. Obviously they were trying to play Zach, and Zach gave us a little bit of an out in terms of being able to. He wasn't leaving the paint, so. But again, we liked it. It's something we've worked on quite a bit over the course of the year, and it was great for us in that game.
Matthew Meyer had a little bit of a slower start to the season and is now getting Big Ten honors. I guess, just what are your thoughts on just his journey to becoming a leader for this team?
Yeah, my hat's off to him, he and Terrence. 2 guys who've come in here and have all-league seasons. I guess that's 3 transfers now that we've had all-league guys become all-league, and it's just a growth process. I'm really happy for him. He's had a terrific season. He's done it. Where he never got ejected with the slow start. He gained confidence. He's a very confident young man, and just excited for both he and Terrence. Both those guys have been great.
I guess with Coleman, a guy who can play the 5 one possession and bring the ball up the next, have you coached a whole lot of players like that? What's that supposed to be like?
No, and Thomas Walkup was a little bit of that for us at Stephen F. Thomas could play, anywhere. He's a point guard as a professional. He was a power forward and played a lot of center for us at times at SFA based on matchups. But versatility is huge, and Coleman's ability to do that. You've got to have IQ and really good feel, and both of those guys had that, and Coleman obviously has it. So it allows him to be successful. He knows every position on the court, for every set, for every action, and he makes great reads. And when Coleman gets in trouble, it's usually because he overhandles. But when he's moving it and popping and screening and doing those things, and he's really effective. And I will say this about Coleman: I was devastated he wasn't on the all-defensive team. Here's a guy who can guard all 5 spots. Here's a guy who can has meant so much to us, leads us in minutes, leads us in. We would be lost without it, and I was bothered by that. But he's had a great season, and hopefully that continues for us here in the postseason.
Would you like to play a higher possession at the end against these games? What do they make it? They make it tough to speed them up. Right?
Well, they don't give you anything in transition. They don't hardly offensive rebound. They send one guy to the glass. They send 4 back, so you don't get easy baskets. So they're very similar to Wisconsin in that standpoint, that you're not gonna get easy opportunities. The ball's in Pickett's hands a lot. He's a low turnover guy. He's got a great 3 or 4 to 1 assist to turnover ratio, and so when you don't get live ball turnovers and you send 4 guys back, it gets hard to get those possessions up.
Invested in our community since 1908. Hi, this is Todd Durakan with First Federal Savings Bank of Champaign-Urbana. Maybe you've attended an event at one of the more than 50 organizations First Federal supported last year. We help make our community a better place, and we invite you to visit us and discover better banking for yourself. Experience the exceptional, friendly service from our knowledgeable staff. Speak with real people, not a recording during business hours. We're never too busy for you. Hey, if you're not already banking with us, give us a try. We think you'll love it here. 356bank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 435120.
If you're looking for a pre-owned car, truck, or van, look no further than Sarah Champagne. You know them for their 5 incredible vehicle brands, the BMW, Honda, Subaru, Buick, and GMC. But did you know they also have over 100 used cars, trucks, and vans in stock right now? And at Sarah Champagne, they will take care of you. You can trust them. And prices begin at under $2,000. Stop by Sarah Champagne. They're Burwash and Savoy, or go online. SarahChampagne.com. That's Sarah, S-E-R-R-A, Champagne.com.
Hey, Lands Heating and Cooling here today to talk to you about rebates and incentives. Hey, at Lands, we've got $400 off a brand new system rebate. Ameren's got AC and heat bump rebates and up to $1,000 for qualifying systems. We've got 0% for 60 months on all qualifying Trane equipment. Call Lands today at 217-355-5512. Lands Heating and Cooling. Why call anyone else? Or for details, go to landsinc.com.
In an ever-changing real estate market, it is so important to work with experienced agents like Russ and Nick Taylor with the Taylor teams at Taylor Realty Associates. They have the knowledge and expertise to get your home sold for the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time. Trust the experience and success of Russ and Nick Taylor with the Taylor team at Taylor Realty Associates. Give them a call today at 217-355-0700 or visit them online at taylorboys.com. That's taylorboys.com.
Here's what one shopper said about Pard's Western Shop in Urbana, 306 North Maple, between Main and University. He said, sure, you can find boots at some big box stores, but nothing like Pard's selections. They're unique, they're local, and they have an excellent store. So many people that visit Pard's in Urbana say the same thing. Pard's in Urbana, 306 North Maple. You can find the best boots in the world and shop local. Visit pards.com. Pards.com.
Gear up to support your Fighting Illini basketball team this season at the official fan store of the Fighting Illini, Game Day Spirit. Shop their great selection of basketball t-shirts, sweatshirts, and NIL jerseys as you cheer on your Fighting Illini. Visit them at the corner of 6th and Green in Campustown, Neal and Kirby in Champaign, or online 24/7 at GameDaySpirit.com. Game Day Spirit, where Illini fans shop.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
The president says he's ready. Lisa Brady, Fox News, inviting the House Speaker to lay out his proposed budget and then have a meeting in search of common ground.
My budget reflects what we can do to lift the burden on hardworking Americans. And there's more than one way to do that.